Okay, here we go.
An excellent place for contemplation. One has the best view of the cathedral from here. Mesmerizing, wouldn't you say? An impeccable manifestation of the God Emperor's sublimity.
Okay, the man who has approached you is gazing down into the depths of the vast temple on one of the lower decks. Okay, so that's me on the right. Choice in dialogues. You are in a dialogue. Here you can learn more about current events, influence the character you are speaking to, or even alter the course of the game's narrative. Your character's personal story depends on the dialogue choices you make. Available dialogue options are displayed on the right. Select a reply by clicking left mouse button on it or pressing the corresponding digit on your keyboard. Got it. Simple enough. Truly an awe-inspiring sight. Frankly, such excess can be tiring at times. All this, okay, ostentatious luxury? Okay, here we go. Ostentatious?
Ostentatious.
Ostentatious. Ostentatious. Too obviously showing your money, okay, possessions or power in an attempt to make other people notice and admire you. Ostentatious. Okay. All this ostentatious luxury, this laughable pretense, it is enough to make one think that the architects meant to compensate rather than glorify. Have we met? Do you have a particular reason for disturbing me? Sheesh. Let's say number 2.
I believe there are those among us who share that sentiment. But such is our duty, is it not? To overcome base weaknesses and desires, so as to excel in our service to the God Emperor, the master of humanity.
The man gives you a sympathetic look. He shakes his head and turns to you.
Allow me to introduce myself. Conrad Voigtveer, Master of Whispers, in the employ of Her Ladyship Rogue Trader Theodora von Valencias. At your service. I haven't had the pleasure of speaking with you in person before.
How do you say his name? Voigtveer bows his head and focuses his attention on you. It'd be cool if I could replay. Hyperlinks. You can hover your cursor over highlighted words to learn more about them. The tooltips that appear can help you better understand the world of the game or its mechanics. Words are highlighted when they first appear in a text. Scroll up the dialog box to see the desired highlighted term again. Got it. My name is Sir Deepest. Sir Deepest Stubbs. My name is rather well known in certain circles in the Calixis sector. I have no intention of introducing myself. Let's not be rude. My name is Sir Deepest.
My regards, Master. Or should I say, Von Valencius, scion of a blessed rogue trader house in the service of the Imperium. Perhaps this kinship came as a shock to you. Understandably so, given that all evidence of the connection was lost in the generations separating you and Lord Captain Theodora. It required no small effort on the part of her ladyship's servants to discover and verify this blood tie, which has now made you one of the heirs of this dynasty.
Okay. So I'm next in line to rule. Voigtver looks you up and down with a thin smile. I forgot I didn't catch his name properly. Lord Captain, a strange title for the Lady Theodora. We don't want to say that. Why am I aboard this vessel? Why have I been brought here? You have a curious title, Master of Whispers. What are your responsibilities? I hope I get to say these two. Tell me about the one whose ship I have found myself. You say I am one of the rogue trader heirs. So there is another candidate? I assume you had some goal in mind when you decided to seek me out. Let's address it. I can only say one. I'm gonna say this one.
So that you may fulfill your blood duty. Whatever obligations you had before, they are henceforth null and void. By order of the Lord Captain, you have been requisitioned to serve the rogue trader, indeed blessed by the God Emperor.
By order of the Lord Captain. Okay.
Your former position may have been different from conventional service as part of one of the institutions of the Imperium. But from now on, a different fate awaits you. One chosen for you by the Lord Captain. I advise you to come to terms with this reality as quickly as possible.
Fine. Lord Captain, a strange title for lady. Okay. We get to say the rest of them.
To put it plainly, I am the head of the network of spies and informers who serve the interests of House von Valencius. I uncover weak links both among Lady Theodora's retinue and in the ranks of her rivals. I eliminate our vulnerabilities and exploit those of others.
Lord Captain. I really don't want to say that. Tell me about the one on whose ship I found myself.
I would rather not discuss the Lord Captain behind her back. Especially not on board her ship. No one knows better than I that whispers are wont to attract particularly close attention. Suffice it to say that her ladyship is the bearer of the sacred warrant of trade and a woman of immense power and entitlement. However privileged your position may be, I ask that you do not incur her anger by being disrespectful or obtuse. Lady Theodora despises both qualities.
So basically, someone's listening to us right now. Voigt laughs and shakes his head. You say I am one of the rogue trader heirs.
There is. And you will meet him soon enough.
Voigt shrugs slightly. It sounds like he doesn't really like that guy. I assume you had some goal in mind.
But of course, I have come to invite you to a meeting with Lady Theodora. I imagine you have many questions for your patroness, and I'm sure she has just as many questions for you. It is regrettable that you haven't yet had an opportunity to speak. It has been an arduous voyage thus far. The Lord Captain and Master Edelthrad von Valencius are conversing on the observation platform. Let us join them there.
In dialogue. By the right of blood, rogue trader Theodora von Valentius desires to personally meet with you. Oh my god, to journey. Move your character by clicking left mouse button on spot. Yep. A symbol will appear and your character will move towards it. If the spot you chose is inaccessible, the symbol will appear in the closest accessible location. Rogue trader Theodora von Valentius desires to personally meet with the person recently brought aboard her flagship. A storm is brewing over the dynasty, so the Lord Captain has something important to share with her heir. If she ever gets the chance. Korund Voitver, the Master of Whispers, servant of von Valentius dynasty, has graciously offered to escort the dynasty here to Lord Captain Theodora. So I gotta follow him. Makes sense, makes sense. Camera controls. Change your point of view. Nice.
I won't tolerate weakness.
Is that telling me where I'm gonna face? No? Interesting. And I can move by... Okay. Can I? Nice. Trying to play with the mouse. Some objects in the game can be interacted with in a special way. They are marked with specific icons. Some icons will allow you to study objects. Others will transfer the character to neighboring locations or launch a small event. These icons become visible when your character is standing close enough to the interactive object. Cool. Click left mouse button on the icon to perform the associated action. Some interactive objects such as doors or chests are not always marked with icons, but the cursor changes when you hover over them. Hover your cursor over the object. If the cursor changes, the object is interactable. Hold tab to highlight objects your character can interact with. Nice.
It's about time.
Kinda wish I could drag the screen, you know? Or maybe I can't move too far from my... No, I can. I'll just use this. Okay. Let's change a button. Mouse free. Just make sure there isn't any other mouse freeze. And when it comes to cool. Cool. So now we getting in. Can I see where my guy went? Not really. Okay, if I see you raise your head, again, I'll hand you over to the tech priest for servitorization. What? Okay, we have to. Damn, if I click off. Let me see. Don't think I'm finding that word.
None shall stand in my way.
Cool. Servitor. Okay. I'm not finding it in this one. Worker. The crew member is hard at work bowing his head in fear and avoiding even looking at you.
Follow my lead.
Sheesh. Technomat, praise be to the machine god. Greetings, my lord. Show me some respect. Oh, is this where he is? No. I do want to change that button as well. Controls. Where's middle mouse? I probably cannot change it. I probably just cannot change it. It's fine. Okay. Engineer. Glory to the Omniscire, giver of knowledge.
A new challenge for me?
Show the data on the vid screen. The sacred mechanism has been interfered with without due reverence. The duration of data processing cycle has tripled. Lay people interfering in the operation of the sacred mechanisms disturbs the machine spirits. In the name of the Omniscire, refrain from any further profane acts. Crew officer, that warp jump was surprisingly uneventful. The one a couple of cycles ago, now that was tough. The delirium took hold of so many, and the witch was up to her old tricks again. Have you heard? Apparently the lower decks got a big influx of new blood after the last on-world resupply. Is there some pestilence spreading through the crew? And that's... Huh? Is there some pestilence spreading through the crew and that's why we had to make up the shortfall? Last time it was blue leprosy that culled our ranks. That warp jump. Okay, she's saying the same thing. I heard the Scene Skull gave the senior, or Senis Skull, gave the senior officers another public dressing down recently. I don't know what it was for this time, but where Sarian would latch onto any slip-up as an excuse to give someone...
I won't tolerate weakness.
What? Oh, so I'm... Give someone an earful, so it's just all of them. Get rid of this. Oh my god, what did I do? Get rid of that. If I move it away. A massive conference table, obviously crafted from real wood, a resource of incredible value aboard the void ship.
Victory awaits.
Damn, there's just so much to interact with. Crew officer. Oh, they're saying the same thing. Cool, noble guest. How long do we have to wait for an audience? How many days has it been already? So I talked to him again, same thing. You hear the stuttering words of a prayer to the God Emperor. May his will strengthen my heart. May my humble deeds be for the benefit of humanity. Let me get some praying. The candle lit altar with a copy of... Can I hover this to keep it here? Also with a copy of the... No. 2,348 volume of the Lex Imperials, the Codex of the Sacred Laws of the Imperium. What if I keep hitting it? Keeps it there. Nice. What if I hold it? Nah. Cool. You hear the stuttering? Okay. Cool. How long do we have to wait for an audience? How many days has it been already? The crew member is hard at work, bowing his head in fear. Okay, we've read that before. As you approach, something in the servitor's body begins to hum as if in response to your presence. After a couple of seconds, the noise subsides.
It's about time.
Watch your mouth.
One of the Fon Valencia's trophy rooms. Perhaps you would like to take a look around after your audience with the Lord Captain.
As you approach, something in this... Okay, that's the same text. Why is it still up there?
What's happening?
Oh! They've been hacked!
The servitors have gone berserk!
Why is that there?
Feel my wrath!
Ooh, to survive in the grim darkness of the far future, you will have to face enemies of all kinds and fight for your life. These hints and tutorials will familiarize you with the combat system of Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. Click the button at the top of the screen to start the battle. Maybe I don't want to start the battle. Okay, so I'm at the back. I got a few dudes on my side here. Fair enough. You have been ambushed. The battle begins. Damn, he was weak. Oh my god. Joint analysis. Movement in combat. All battles in the game are turn-based and take place on a grid. On their turn, a character can move, attack, and use their abilities. Select a cell within the highlighted area and double-click left mouse on it to move the character there. Movement points determine how far a character can move on their turn. Where is that? Probably here. One movement point corresponds to one cell on the battlefield. Okay. Moving diagonally is more costly. Every second diagonal cell uses 2 movement points. Makes sense? At the beginning of each turn, movement points are restored to their maximum value. Note that once a character starts moving, this action can no longer be cancelled. This is my movement range. So one. Wait, one. 1, 2, 2, 3. Okay. 1. Damn, okay. Sheesh. Okay. Okay, how do I want to play this? This is my gear. This is my attack. 7 to 10. I'm gonna have to reload 2. Can I shoot from here? And if I click this, can I shoot?
Already done.
Nice.
I'll pass.
When you're ready to end your turn, press spacebar or click and turn button on the bottom right of the screen. Can I reload though?
Suits my purposes. Not my specialty.
This ability cannot be used again this turn. Costs 1 AP. Spends all movement points. Can no longer use attacking abilities on current turn. Okay. Okay. I reloaded though. What's this? Surefire plan. At the start of combat, the Crime Lord gains plus 3 stacks of Surefire plan effect. Activation of this ability consumes 1 stack and makes the next action stronger depending on the type of action. If the Crime Lord attacks, they deal 14% more damage. If the Crime Lord moves, they gain 14% dodge and parry until the start of their next turn. If the Crime Lord uses a non-damaging ability on an enemy, that enemy suffers a minus 13% penalty to damage for 1 round. Can be used multiple times per turn.
Not a problem for me.
Analyze enemies. Cost 1 AP. I don't have any more AP. But let me see.
Nothing I can't do.
Really? Oh, action points here. I was looking at movement points. The operative targets one enemy within line of sight. That target immediately gains plus 2 exploits. What's this? At the start of each turn, the operative inflicts 1 stack of exploit on all enemies in the... Okay, nice. If the operative hits a target with an exploit stack, the attack deals plus 5 times per bonus. Okay, more exploits, more damage. I would like to know what my attack range actually is.
I don't have time for this.
Right? So is it saying that I could not attack out here? Okay. And turn. Ooh. Fire these two. The operative targets one enemy within line of sight. He's got so many stacks.
Too easy.
Let me just move a little bit closer. To make attacks and abilities in combat, a character must spend action points. Their total is displayed in the panel at the bottom of the screen. Every attack or ability has a certain AP cost associated with it. The number of squares next to the icons of attack actions and other abilities indicate their AP cost. At the start of each character's turn, the AP is restored to their maximum value. To attack, first click the left mouse button on the single shot icon on the weapons panel at the bottom of the screen. Hover the cursor over an enemy. A tooltip will appear showing your chances of hitting that enemy. I didn't notice that. And the possible damage you can deal on a successful hit. Click the left mouse button on the enemy to fire. The amount of damage your character deals depends on the parameters of the weapon they are using. The effectiveness of the shot depends on the distance between the character and their enemy. When you target an enemy with a single shot, you will see 2 areas denoting the weapon's effective and maximum firing ranges. Cool. Certain abilities in the game are considered attack actions and can only be used once per turn unless affected by specific talents or other abilities a character might have. If a character performs an attack action, they will not be able to attack again and will lose their remaining movement points until the end of their next turn. I am within range. Okay, let's figure this out. 85% chance to deal 11 to 18 damage. That's a high percent.
Suits my purposes.
12. So 18 would have killed him. End turn. Oops. Bruh, what gun are you using? Ah, there's one specific tactic that they ain't teaching me about. It's this one right here. See? Alright, let's put this machine out of its misery.
Nothing I can't. You didn't stand a chance.
I can scarcely
What
believe it on a
suspiciously
day
poor
like this.
timing for such an accident. Servitors malfunction on the officer's deck at exactly the same moment when the rogue trader and her heirs are gathered here. I have blocked all passages between the upper and lower sectors of the residential decks. If this is a deliberate attack, it should stop the culprits from advancing their plan.
Who, without taking his eyes off the bodies on the floor, Voigtver removes the box caster from his belt and speaks a few quick orders into the device. Then he turns to you. Spread out. No one is allowed to enter the premises stations.
I'm
At your
afraid
service.
I must remain here. For Lady Theodora's safety, I have to oversee the execution of these orders personally. I hope you will have no difficulty reaching the observation platform on your own. It is just at the end of this corridor.
The lines on the Voigtver's forehead soften, and his voice regains its usual courtesy. The Master of Whispers gives you a curt bow. You can open the map using M to orient yourself. I mean, I gotta go forward and then left. Does the map change? No. So the map is more like this, right? Right? I think that's how the map is.
Follow my lead.
The wires in the servitor's head are still smoldering. It would seem the cause of this malfunction was the short-circuiting of the motive force. Tarantula sentry gun constructed with the blessing of the Adeptus Mechanicus using a standard template construct in the manufactorums of Kaiva Gamma. Lemon Rust battle tank. It's just weapons everywhere, man. Reclaimed and restored by the grace of the God Emperor, the first to breach the capital walls during the pacification of Vortes Ston. This exhibit is unfinished, another symbol of House von Valancius. Valancius's valor will be displayed here at some point in the future. The crew member is hard at work. Your lordship, do not worry. All threats have been eliminated. It is absolutely safe here. I hope so. So that's where I am.
None shall stand in my way.
And yeah. And they are just mean to these guys. Cool. Can I hit all of these? A grey-green crystal with white veins. A low hum can be heard coming from the artifact. Damn, there's loads. A violet alloy, which upon closer examination turns out to be a handcrafted object. Symbols carved with a primitive tool are visible on the surface. Can I make camera follow player? I saw that as an option, right? Follow the character with camera F. I like. Nice. A black shard resembling obsidian. If you look closely, you can discern a strange, barely perceptible glow inside the artifact. A massive golden amalgam interspersed with sparkling particles.
I won't tolerate weakness.
The stone on the pedestal is no doubt solid, but its surface shimmers and changes hue as if someone had captured a piece of turbulent sea within the rock. A strange object that resembles sea coral. The porous surface is pitted, a sign that it has been underwater. Oof.
I'll lay claim to the stars.
No, I'm not even really interested in all these guys anymore. But who's this? So from now on, any tinkering with the vacuum lux is to be carried out only in the presence of our esteemed tech priests. Yes, sir. I'm sorry, sir. Hell. Okay. I am proud to see that I have raised a worthy successor. Do not hesitate to go hard on them, Jocasta.
Victory awaits.
Deccan forces probably gonna say the same thing. I'm way higher ranked than all these guys, so they can't really tell me where to go. Crew officer. That warp, okay, same thing.
It's about time.
Is that Theodore? Which one?
That is simply irrational, Lady Theodora. Assimilation into the trade structure would be political and economic suicide. Practically an admission of heresy.
Says the man dressed in peculiar garb, his voice tight with tension, his face, half of which is covered by sin skin, is twisted in a grimace of displeasure and disbelief. Who is who?
Then suggest an alternative that will satisfy me. I have described the situation. No worse than my seneschal could have done. Make a decision. What will you do with Ion 6, Edelthrad?
The tall grey-haired woman pins him with her gaze, her cybernetic eye flashing crimson. Survey the room. I'm here to speak with the Lord Captain. Let's just straight up say.
What is this? Is this someone from your retinue, Theodora? Do you permit your people to interrupt your conversations in such a fashion?
Yo, we need to chop this guy up. We are not a fan of Eldred. Eldred turns to you and regards you with indignation. Just slap him right here.
I give that permission to those with something of substance to say. Let us see if it was worth it. This is the
Theodora.
second candidate for the title of my successor.
Ooh.
Step forward.
Sir Deepfist. Theodora tilts her head, her lips stretch into a cold smile. The rogue trader regards you with a look that is imperious, predatory, and oppressive. Continue.
Consider this hypothetical situation. Ion 6. A new world on the fringes of the Coronis expanse. High seismic activity, regular magma eruptions, metamorphic rock deposits, prospects for large-scale mining. The world is populated by natives who worship some heretical underworld spirits that protect those who offer them sacrifices. Flights of fancy, you might say, but attempts to install ore extractors have failed for the second time. The mining crews sent to the planet's surface simply vanished overnight. My question to you is, what would you do with this poisoned treasure?
Okay, is she calling this new world the treasure? Metamorphic rock deposits, prospects for large-scale mining. The world is populated by natives who worship some heretical underworld spirits. Okay, passive skill tests. Your character's skills reflect their knowledge and capabilities. Some dialogues automatically initiate passive skill tests. If such a test succeeds, new information will be revealed, or a hidden dialogue option will unlock. If your character is traveling with allies, the party member with the highest score in the applicable skill is selected for each given passive skill test. How much options I got? Lore Xenos succeeded. Those spirits could well be the natives' name for dangerous aliens. I would first verify if that is indeed the case and if the population of Aeon 6 engages in Xeno worship. Lore Warp. Lore Xenos. There are ways to confirm whether what is happening to on Aeon 6 is witchcraft or not. It might cost several psychers to do so, but it will give us the answer. If my particular life experiences are any indication, some of the natives would eagerly betray their chieftains in exchange for a quiet life serving on board my ship. I would then leave dealing with Iron 6 to those who know it best. Okay. Those reports of spirits certainly sound like evidence of hearsay. However, I would put my interests first. No matter what means I would have to use, the riches of Iron 6 would be mine. That's what she wants to hear. Iron 6 must be purged for the good of the Imperium. I shall exterminate their heretical beliefs and otherworldly powers that rule the native apostates. She wants to hear one of these, man. Why does it say succeeded here? Saying my character is going to 100% succeed in whatever this is. I should probably play to my character then. Damn, let's just go ahead and say this.
Reasonable and prudent. However, chasing after ethereal creatures may prove a rather long and fruitless endeavor.
Apart from Xenos, an untrodden planet might be teeming with myriad horrors that are far more dangerous and difficult to eradicate. I suspect that you are simply unaware of their existence.
This guy. Eldefred scoffs. What did I miss? Theodora arches an eyebrow. That's it. I gave a straight answer to a simple question, which, as I understand, was still more than you could do. Oh, we gonna say something like that. We are both servants of the God Emperor and Lady Theodora. Does it become anyone of our status to engage in petty feuds? I find your tone most disagreeable, Eldefred. You will kindly alter the manner in which you address me, or else you will live to regret the consequences. Shut your mouth, Eldefred, before I decide to shut it for you. Sheesh. I feel... Were they talking about this before? Okay. Let's go ahead and say the damn, I want to talk shit too. Let's say the first one.
Insolent, ignorant upstart. How dare you?
The color drains from Eldefred's face, which distorts his features further.
Edelthrad, I believe I gave you an assignment on this ship. Explain to me then why my senior congregator is still dawdling about the officer's deck, instead of proceeding to the middle decks to commence the inspection of the compartments in his purview.
Uh-huh.
I beg your forgiveness, Lady Theodora. Your presence has such a profound effect on me that I well forgot the time.
Eldefred bows ceremoniously and takes his leave without sparing you another look. Wait. I had to talk to him
So,
again.
why are you here?
Was it not you who sent for me? I'm here to take the throne. There are questions that I wish to have answered. I do not know yet. I hope you will clarify. There are questions that I wish to have answered.
You are direct. I approve. But you will have to wait. There is something I want you to understand first.
Okay.
My name is Theodora von Valancius Massimo of Scaris. I am a rogue trader in the service of the God Emperor of humanity. And my rights and freedoms are vindicated by a most sacred relic. The warrant of trade, kept aboard this very vessel. Mine is the honor to venture into the darkness, beyond the Imperium, and carry humanity's light where powers wicked and heretical reign, and bow death and ruin to us all.
Okay. She's going in.
It is my decision alone to determine the fate of whatever I find past the bounds of the explored void. Every world I discover, along with all there is to find thereon, resources, people, riches, and mysteries, is mine by right. I command millions of lives, rule over numerous planets, and possess fortunes that no planetary governor or commander could dream of amassing. And you are one of those with von Valancius blood in their veins and a rightful claim to this inheritance when the hour comes.
So basically, they have, from what I understand, they have a range of discovered, like, universe, I guess. And she goes beyond that and claims things for herself. I think that's what I'm hearing. I am ready to take on this sacred purpose. It's all too sudden for me. One of, does this mean there are other heirs?
Naturally. Some have yet to arrive on board, but you have had the pleasure of meeting one of them. Ethelthrad may be somewhat disconcerted by the scale of the responsibilities that may potentially fall upon his shoulders. However, I have a good feeling about him as a candidate.
Yo, I thought he was just any guy. I was gonna talk the most to him.
Bloodright alone is not enough to earn the high honor of becoming the bearer of a warrant of trade. Nonetheless, your abilities and talents may yet prove useful. If not for the role of Lord Captain, then for that of their closest ally. Alas, even those responsibilities can at times be too challenging for those who share your blood. Kunrad Voitvir served me for many years before he made his mistake.
Voitvir. Okay. Theodora sighs and looks away pensively for a brief moment. Okay. Before he made his mistake. What mistake? If you are satisfied with Elderfred, then what sense is there in having this conversation? Why are you wasting your time on me? Did I hear you correctly? The Master of Whispers is related to you.
His kinship to me is most distant, as is yours. Nonetheless, he does bear the name von Valancius, even if he avoids using it publicly, and as such, strictly speaking, can be considered my heir. That door, however, is closed to him. Voitvir's performance in his current role is satisfactory. Or it used to be, at least.
Voitvir. I'm ready to take on this sacred purpose. I do want to say this. If you are satisfied with Elderfred.
Impatience. I am rather fond of impatient people. They are not as quick to resign themselves to circumstance and more eager to show initiative. Even if I do choose Ethelthrad as my successor, I will still require loyal advisors. The skills and knowledge you acquired in your former life may prove invaluable here, in the Coronis Expanse. One could not in good faith describe your background as one of exemplary service to the Imperium. However, I am intrigued by you and your past. To have survived and prospered between the letters of the law is a rare achievement among those in our circle. You are skilled in the art of taking risks and cutting corners. Trust me when I say that you will have sufficient opportunity to apply this talent for the good of the house.
Okay.
Moreover, your remarkable mental abilities were noted in your profile. If you can find a way to exhibit them in the service of the von Valancius dynasty, well, so much the better.
I missed this. Theodora permits herself a sly smile. Theodora inclines her head slightly. Your remarkable mental abilities, your outstanding intellect is known beyond the bounds of your home system. I am ready to take on this sacred purpose.
Oh yes, you would be, wouldn't you? The question is, am I ready to choose you over the rest? You came aboard hours before the warp jump, and have not yet distinguished yourself in any way. As things currently stand, I have doubts that you are suitable for the role of rogue trader.
Thank you for clarifying. May I ask my questions now?
I have some time before the navigator gives the signal to initiate the void ship's translation out of the warp, and my presence is required on the bridge.
The vox affixed to Theodora's attire suddenly comes to life, but all you can hear is unintelligible noise. Theodora winces, shuts off the transmission, and gives you an imperious nod. Okay. Navigator. Translation. What are these things that you speak of? Navigator. A sanctioned noble mutant whose genes allow them to safely guide a warp-capable void ship through the warp. That sounds like some Dune stuff. An alternate dimension of pure energy and madness existing as a mirror to real space. Also known as the Immaterium, the Empyrean, the Aether, the Sea of Souls, or Warp Space. Expand. Encyclopedia. Oh my god, it goes deeper. It is the source of all psychic powers and home dimension of the powerful entities known as the Chaos Gods and their respective daemons. The warp also functions as a medium for faster than light interstellar travel for humanity and is rumored by many species to be the final place of the spirits of the dead. So it's a lot to take in. Okay. So the warp is a place, right? And an alternate dimension of pure energy and madness existing as a mirror to real space. So it's a different realm. Also known as the Immaterium, the Empyrean, the Aether, the Sea of Souls, or Warp Space. So it's like the Never Realm. It is the source of all psychic powers and home dimension of the powerful entities known as Chaos. So Chaos Gods live there, and their respective demons and their demons. So it's kind of like hell. The warp also functions as a medium for faster than light interstellar travel. So to travel faster than light, they go in the warp and come out elsewhere, and is rumored by many species to be the final place of the spirits of the dead. And they think everyone goes there when they die. Okay. Navigator. A sanctioned noble mutant whose genes allow them to safely guide the warp-capable void ship through the warp. So navigators basically can take ships, void ships through the warp. All navigators have a third eye on their foreheads, which enables them to guide void ships through the warp. Without the navigators, there simply would not be an Imperium of man for traveling between all but the very closest star systems would be two onerous and dangerous. Okay, hold on. Onerous. Difficult to do or needing a lot of effort. Fair enough. The Vox. Let's go straight in. Piece of technology used to communicate over short distances or to record sound. It's basically a walkie-talkie that can record. Basically their phone. Damn, there's a lot. I'm gonna be going through it though. I wonder if I save here, can I come back straight to... Let's test. I can't save. Cool. Let's end this dialogue. Navigator. Translation. What are these things you speak of?
Sometimes I forget that people without direct access to a ship's bridge may not know the first thing about how a void ship travels between the stars.
Theodore shakes her head.
Vessels such as this one are capable of leaving real space and traversing into the warp, an otherworldly dimension of cruel and unthinkable forces. By entering it under the protection of the Gellerfield, we shorten the route to our destination, crossing distances that would require hundreds of years in a matter of weeks instead, sometimes in days or even hours. That is how humanity spread across the galaxy. That is how we were able to build the Imperium, which spans millions of stars.
Okay, cool. I can follow that. I can follow that. But protection of the Geller field. That I would like an explanation on. An incident took place on the officer's deck. Some servitors went berserk and attacked the crew. Yeah, let's say it.
Is that so? Perhaps the technomats were careless during maintenance. Or it could be the warp playing tricks on us in spite of the Gellerfield. Or perhaps there is something to all the stories about the ship being possessed after all.
Theodora laughs nonchalantly.
Lady Theodora, for the God Emperor's sake, surely you do not intend to start repeating idle rumors spread about by uneducated riffraff.
The grey-haired officer gives the rogue trader a look of cautious disapproval. They're probably sleeping with each other, these two.
Enough, Abelard. Such hearsay amuses me. Idira eagerly retells me everything she learns from the whispers of her unseen advisors. This ship is ancient. It has enough hidden nooks, malfunctioning cogitators, and unused compartments to make ignorant folks speak of specters dwelling inside the bulkheads and plotting against those who yet live.
She turns to you, Cogitator. Any type of digital computer in the Imperium of Man. Cogitator. Where is your ship headed?
The Rycad system, the domain of rogue trader Winterscale, one of my peers and rivals. Besides me, 2 other rogue traders exist in the Coronis Expanse, and each of them possesses resources comparable to mine. Perhaps you will one day assist House von Valancius in surpassing both of them in affluence and splendor.
Damn, they just care about riches, really. Coronis Expanse. So this is what I wanted a little understanding. A scattered, poorly explored region on the frontier of the Imperium, full of fearsome Xenos, treasure, heathen worlds, and the echoes of ancient doom. A scattered collection of a few young colonies of the Imperium, the Cronus Expanse possesses virtually untapped natural wealth, and its warp space is treacherous and unexplored, while rogue traders vie with one another for both known and hidden resources as they strive to build their protectorates. Pirates, Xenos, and servants of the Dark Gods terrorize the Expanse, eager to cast fear and destruction upon humanity. Cool, so they're constantly fighting random stuff. And so you can't really say it's explored, because it's where they are, but it's like the ocean, right? Haven't really explored the deep part of it.
I set the course for Rycad on the demand for a very specific reason. Perhaps I shall yet apprise you of the purpose for this voyage, but now is not the time.
Theodora grimaces. She gives you a stern look, then shrugs. So she's keeping what she wants me for away for now. What are my current responsibilities? I'm not saying this one. What are my current responsibilities?
Observe, learn, absorb. It will take time for you to find your bearings aboard this vessel and in your new position. Eventually, I will find a post that suits you as I did for Ethelthrad. Until that time comes, consider yourself my aide.
That hairstyle is crazy. Gracious Lord Captain, surely there are ways I can prove myself wherever you err. I'm not saying that. I have no more questions.
In that case, I shall head to... Disturbances reported on the adjacent decks. Seneschal, if the need arises, protect the new blood. It is possible that the chance to prove your worth may present itself sooner than you may have anticipated.
Theodora's vox awakens once more. This time you pick up shouting. The Lord Captain freezes, listening to the vox cast, then nods and draws her weapon. Sheesh. Ready to fight? So who are these dudes?
Submit, and
We
you'll
save him.
die quickly.
We save him. Initiative. All combatants act in turns, and their order is determined by an initiative roll. The order of turns is displayed on the left side of the screen from bottom to top. I see. Okay. From bottom to top, the character at the very bottom goes first, then the one above them, and so on. Save. Can I save over this? Auto save. Save.